authentic identity, knowing who you are beyond your roles, stats, or situations. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Unbreakable. Yes, it's Monday. Look, I hope everybody is on fire for Monday. I hope they got their plans together, ready to rock and roll. And I want to give a shout out to all of the podcasters out there, especially the ones that are running and engineering and doing their own podcast, starting by themselves, working all the engineering and all the tools and all the lights. Like y'all got some skills out there in them streets, out there in them podcast streets, trying to work things out. It's a lot to coordinate, and for those that want to do it, don't get frustrated. Work it out. Work through your bugs. Work through your snafus. Work through your situations. Work through your fumble. After all, that's what being unbreakable is about. It's about making mistakes and not letting it judge you. It's just a mistake. Work through those things. And so today we're going to be focusing on the authentic identity of a person, and I kind of want to be able to go through. So today I'm gonna be doing some engineering type things and just working through it. I'm gonna try to relax through the whole situation and work on my perfectionist issues. But we just gonna flow, we're gonna learn, we're gonna share, we're gonna grow. Because there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of things that we need to be doing to align ourselves with success that we're not necessarily doing, which is why we're not as successful as we could be. We don't have the money that we want to have. And it's really just about repositioning, recovering, rebounding, and being able to move forward into those successful things that's going to help drive us. And so I'm going to go ahead and work this toolbox right here. So today, one of the coaching points, one of the coaching points I want to be able to go over is identity over image. A lot of people get identity over image wrong. Image is if you're going in for a job interview and you want to look good, or you're meeting somebody for the first time and you want to look good. That's kind of your image. If you're going to an award ceremony, you kind of dress up because that's the image you want to be able to portray. But also your image is how you dress tells people how you want them to treat you. And so if you dress with some class, if you dress to impress, so to speak, with some class, then people gonna treat you with some class. But if you dress like trash and you exposing everything, then that's what you're gonna attract is people that's gonna treat you on that particular level. But your image doesn't determine who your identity is. Um, your image is what people see, but your identity is what you stand on. Let me give you an example. The other day I was in the store and the lady, she really tried to hook me up, but I didn't want to be hooked up. She didn't charge me for a watermelon and bananas. And I looked at the receipt. I said, did you charge me for this watermelon? She was like, oh, I forgot. Okay, I was like, no, let's go on ahead and charge me because look, I didn't want no bananas and no watermelon to hook me up. Now, as a business owner, I wouldn't want any of my products to go out and not get paid for it. I wouldn't want to lose money. If I'm running a free promotion, that's different. But overall, I would want somebody to take care of my products. And so that's really your identity. I want to, operate in honesty. I want to operate in integrity. And that's what a lot of us struggle with. We think our image is who we are and is not. And so it's not your stats. If you're an athlete, it's not how many trophies you got. It's only a temporary role, and who you are when no one is watching, that's your foundation. That's, do you open the door for people? If somebody drops some money, do you pick up the money and say, hey, you dropped your money? Especially if you see it. That's your foundation, and your foundation is really going to determine your level of success. And so if you're used to getting over on your foundation, you might want to relook or rethink some type of things, because that's what helps you to recover in a right type of way when you take a blow in life. And just remember, when you take the jersey off your back, do you still know what your name is? You're not the lights. You're not the crowd. You're not the person that runs on the field. You're not your title. You're not your position in your job. You are who your image is, not your image, but your identity is inside of yourself, what your foundation is, what makes you up. That will determine how well you recover and how well you progress. And if there's some issues or maybe some slow growth there, that may be an area of focus. And the second coaching point is purpose anchors your performance. Your purpose anchors your performance. A lot of times we don't know what our purpose is. We don't know what our design is. We don't know what we're wired to do. And one of the first things in coaching or being successful or being able to bounce back from a setback is knowing who you are, how you're wired, what your gifts, talents, and strengths is. And so at Unbreakable, we talk about our wiring, the relationship codes. We talk about our wiring, because when you understand that power, you there's nothing that you won't be able to execute. Understanding your strengths, understanding when you get a half a cup, how to fill your cup, knowing how to recognize that in other people, being able to navigate those type of situations, is the power is so powerful that you can't almost deal with it, because it's easier to take the easy way out versus mastering and learning your power. It'll almost scare you what you see, what you think, how you act, and what you do. But you're able to actually dominate the field. You'll be able to change jobs and continue to elevate. You'll be able to create extra money by being able to do extra things and not have to depend on one income. And so understanding your purpose, that's what's going to anchor your performance, and you'll be able to perform at higher levels that you've never been able to hire before. And remember, purpose isn't a slogan. It's really your source code. When you know what you're trying to do, then look, one way to ask yourself eh, this particular question to find out, what would I do for free every day, all day? For me, I would help people be successful every day, all day. I would help research things for them. I would help them position themselves to win every day, because I get such great joy in seeing other people win. It's fun to see people win. And it's because I've won. It's because I played on championship teams several times. It's because I took those same principles from the boardroom, from the field to the boardroom, from the boardroom into relationships, into partnerships. And it's fun winning. There's nothing like it. And so just remember, Find out what your purpose is. Search for it no matter what. And coaching point number 3 is don't rent your identity. Own it. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be a podcaster if you don't like podcasting and being in front of people. But if you like helping people, help people and deal with the lights later. Um, um, I know people, they have this thing that was out there, was a buzzword, imposter syndrome. You know, as soon as something hot come out, oh, I want to do this, but you're not wired to do that. Oh, well, I want to be able to, be a coach, but guess what? You don't want to sit down and study and create the systems to become a coach. And so that's short-lived. And it gets difficult because you don't know what you're wired to do. And so everything you do becomes a struggle more than what it needs to be. And so you have to make sure that one thing that you focus on is taking ownership with confidence and then being consistent when you're doing it. That's a major formula is owning what you do, being confident what you do, and being consistent. So unbreakable. Look, I, I'm taking ownership of it. The mistakes, the lights, the cameras, the snafus, because I really want to help people. And I'm confident in it because I've been doing it for so long and I see people win and I've helped companies launch in things that they was trying to put together in 2 years and come in and help them do it in 6 months. I've helped people get their highest sales in a quarter. Companies go in and have the highest sales. I've had people effectively partner and have great partnerships. And so I see the winning principles work, and just being consistent at it helps you to be more comfortable and helps you to be more confident at. And remember, you don't have to be elite by fitting in. You get there by standing firm. Stand firm on how you're designed. Stand firm on I'm going to find out what my gifts are. Stand firm on I'm not going to tolerate somebody else's mess, whether it's in a job, whether it's in a company. When you're always growing, you will always be presented with new opportunities to reposition yourself for increase, for better relationships, more understanding with your kids, better understanding with your wife, more financial increase and gain. You don't have to be afraid by what's going on in the world. You just need to know how to counteract what's going on. And the way that you do that is understand how you're wired and what your purpose is. And so I'm going to put up here on the screen. If you want to know, if you just want some tools to be deeper, get deeper understanding, I have a bunch of free tools, assessment tools that you are able to use. And it's real. I think the tools are phenomenal. I've learned a lot about trying to get and use these particular tools. For example, did you know that if you're in business or you are a leader, that a leader has four parts to it? Like, okay, you're a leader, but then you're a student, but then you're a teacher, and then you're an employee. And so, in your leadership style, how do you execute each one of those? That will kind of determine how you teach or lead people. Because if you sucked as an employee, you probably gonna have some chinks in your armor about your leadership. And so I have a bunch of free tools and assessments we've put together here at Relationship Avenues for Unbreakable. And we just want to be able to get these tools out in people's hands just to help them. And if they like it, great. I have more information. If they don't like it, just keep it moving and on to the next thing. But most people that use our tools love what we do, and we appreciate you for that. And I like to um, read a question from a from one of our audience members. The question was, I recently lost my job and I've been feeling low and have no energy. What should I do? That actually sounds like um, just what Unbreakable really is designed to help. First of all, um, we all go through grief when we lose something, especially if we're committed and we don't know what our next step is. And so, sorry for your loss, but here's the good news. Usually that means it's time to go and move on to the next thing. I've lost some jobs and it's always been better as soon as I leave or as soon as I was terminated. The next job was 12 times better, but my attitude towards that really helped. And so the first thing I would do is to make sure I'm eating properly, that I am not, I avoid the sugars and the processed foods because sometimes that really takes away energy. And make sure that you're not drinking all those fruit juice drinks. Try to flush your system out with some water, some lemon water, and then try to eat some energy type of food, just some meats, vegetables. Try to maybe stay away from a lot of starchy foods. That's one of the first things I would do. And the second thing I would do is I would actually find out what I'm wired to do, what I love to do. I would start journaling and I would actually make my day about recovering, regrouping, retraining, and looking for what my next move and next step is going to be. I know it's tough, but I am 100% would love to support you in any shape, form, or fashion, just because there's so much out there to do. And then third, right, surround yourself by some positive people who can speak some life into your situation, not people who can get in agreement. Yeah, well, you know what? I remember, I lost this and it took me 2 years to get another job. Them type of people you don't need to have in your circle. If they're not speaking life into your situation, if they're not bringing tools and resources into your situation, don't hang around them for this season. Find the people that can help you. Go on YouTube. There's plenty of people who have those type of stories that was busted out, homeless, and they are now multimillionaires. So take some motivational stories in, go to YouTube, find that, and use that for yourself. And hopefully those couple of things that I shared help. It was very helpful to you. And that's my time, y'all. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had an amazing and phenomenal weekend. They look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Tuesday, but tune in on Friday at 10 a.m. I got a special guest that's coming in, Miss Corporate America. And her story is amazing. And she definitely would be an icon for Unbreakable, some of the things that she's been through, how she was able to reposition herself, and just hear her stories, just because it helps everybody to understand we all go through things. And as we go through those things, it doesn't determine who we are. It just really shows our foundation. It shows what we need to work on. Don't panic, relax, breathe. It's going to be beautiful. And so that's my time, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Happy Monday.